What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Colin Thompson Show, presented by Not For Long Media. I hope everybody has an awesome holiday season, a safe holiday season. Hug your loved ones. It is a special time of year, and I'll get into it a little later at the end of the show. But lost someone really close to me this past week, so make sure you hug your loved ones, tell them you love them, enjoy your time, be safe. And just enjoy the holiday season. Plenty of football this holiday season with Christmas falling on Sunday. There'll be a bunch of games on Saturday. I thought it was fitting to have our all-football show, the only all-football show here at Not For Long Media. The girls from Two Girls, One League join us, Paige and Alix.
What's up?
Miss Alix Lopez.
What's up, bitches?
Yes. Our girls at Two Girls, One League. We are missing Sil and Rossi as well. But you guys just have an awesome show, and I think it's a great way to introduce your guys' show. It's been a great start. I think the New Year's, you guys are going to rock it off even more. You just do great stuff. So those that want to dive into football, the women of our show that want to listen to other women and not listen to me ramble about random crap, Two Girls, One League is the show for you. I'll go to
and if you love to hate, just feel free to drop it in the comments of our TikToks and Instagram videos like everybody else.
Are people hating? Are there haters?
Oh, we talked about this last week on the pod. We went into it about our comment sections. They're pretty good.
So. Are you guys getting blown up, Alex?
Oh, they're fucking ruthless. But I like it.
We talked about this. You would act like we killed Tom Brady's entire family, whoever commented's entire family, and we just have they just really aren't that controversial of takes, like what we're talking about. Like, for example, the one thing we said was we're just I hate ties. We just don't like ties. We're like, this is a $1 billion industry, entertainment. Like, why are ties still a thing? And you would have thought that we said that Tom Brady was the worst quarterback of all time. That's how they acted in the comments. It was the most unreal thing.
Yeah, they come at us pretty hard. What did we make the rules? We said you must, in order to leave a hate comment, you have to be able to run a lap of a football field.
Right.
You have to have a GED degree. So you have to. You have to have all your teeth. And you have to have all your teeth. Those are the three things. If you have those three things, fair game.
Drop a comment.
Let it rip. Drop a hate comment. But if you're missing a GED, you can't run a football field lap, and you're missing one tooth, don't you dare say a word. So those are our three things.
They are the guidelines at Two Girls, One League. So you guys can see the banter of this show and the fun stuff you're going to get with the show. So you guys got to check them out. Two Girls, One League. It's a podcast of ours here, Not For Long Media. It's so much fun. So I guess with the comment section, that's kind of I only see the Instagram. I don't have TikTok on purpose because I will get addicted to it. And I will.
Well, we also were talking. So I went through a phase where when I would be fucked up, I would kind of go back at these people in the TikTok comments. Only when I was hammered, though. Only when I was hammered.
Well, the fun thing I've been starting to sound back. I love sounding back off at people on Twitter, especially that just is so ridiculous. So ridiculous. I commented to Coach Rule the other day, just because you take a picture of the weights doesn't mean you worked out. You took a picture of the weight room, go Nebraska or whatever. And then somebody people are chirping me you're not important just because you have a check mark. People are just absolutely destroying me. I'm like, man, Twitter is
ruthless.
That's how TikTok is. They just assume everything. It's you heard a 2-second thing of what we were talking about. We got eaten alive on how it was mainly me, how I said I don't like watching Russell Wilson and the Broncos on prime time. And that one was they need to flex those games. Obviously, I was fucking right about that too, because who the fuck wanted to watch that? And they were saying they make they schedule the games ahead of time, idiot. No fucking shit. No shit. You really think that if I'm out here making a podcast in my free time that I don't know that? It's crazy.
My favorite's when they hate on us for we were hating on OBJ and they're well, he's got more money than you. It's like, yeah, okay, well, no shit. Like,
and then what else did they say? They were like, oh, of course it's the blonde talking.
Yeah, it's like they always go with like the women. Like, of course it's like dumb
but then
girls. I'm
on
like,
the flip hand, we get a lot of old creepy guys who like our looks. So shout out to them.
Yep, shout out to those.
And they
give us the creepiness.
They are always creepy if you click them.
I love a creepy comment.
Always.
Hey, a supporter is a supporter.
Exactly.
Sure. We appreciate your follow here at Not Long Media. That is fantastic. Yeah, I guess there's a lot of paths to go down. I'm gonna just tee you guys up, and I didn't even put this down here, but you guys brought up Tom Brady. I'll go to Paige first, or go to Alix first because she's down there in Tampa. What's the vibe? What's the vibe with the whole Tom Brady side?
Well,
I mean, let me say this: for the first time in my life, I was able to shake his hand. We played them last in Carolina, which was so cool. I'm a huge fan of Tom. Majority of the players are. I've never met anybody who said they don't think he's the greatest of all time or don't think he's a great guy. We just happened to walk by each other leaving the field, and I just shook his hand and said, "Tom, I'm a huge fan. Tons of respect." He's like, "Hey, thanks, man. Keep grinding. Good luck." He doesn't know me from Adam,
awesome.
But he took the time to do that. So this is more of a question from the journalist side of me saying like, hey, what is it from the outside world going down in Tampa with obviously his personal life and then the football team? There's a lot going on down there.
Yeah, ironically,
yesterday.
Well, yeah, I was at that game yesterday. Bengals Bucks. It was a last minute buy. My best friend's in town. We went to Top Golf in the morning and we said, what are we doing the rest of the day? We're like, should we go to the game? Fuck it, let's send it. So we just bought 2 tickets, nosebleeds. Went to the game.
You were in the Sky Mall.
We were in the Sky, and they still cost an arm and a leg. It was absurd. But yeah, to get to your question, I think I don't think it's looking so good with the support of Tom. Of course, when things are good, everyone's like rah rah, especially that first half of the game last night. But then as it flipped, everyone just starts kind of shitting on him. I don't know. I think it's a little brutal. I mean, it's still Tom Brady. I'm not like too concerned about him. But yeah, I don't like the flip-floppiness with like the whole Tampa Bay fans. Like, I don't think you can be that selective because before Tom, you guys had nothing. And now you get Tom and then you're like bitching when he makes one mistake or like 2 mistakes. So I don't really know. I like him. I would still choose Tom Brady over any QB in this league. Maybe Josh Allen, that's a hot debate, but I like Tom, but I don't think the relations in Tampa are as positive as they were in like the beginning of the season, I'd say.
Paige, your thoughts, if you have any.
Well, I needed him to beat Cincinnati yesterday for the sake of my Ravens. So that was a little bit of a choke. I mean, they looked good in that first half. The offense they were running was unlike any offense they ran all year.
Cincinnati's a good defense, too. They have a good defense. I mean, we literally couldn't do anything against them.
I mean, it was 17-0, and then they lost, so that's not good.
You brought up kind of Buffalo and Josh Allen, and then you brought up the Ravens. Paige, talk about your Ravens. Talk about the quarterback situation there.
Quarterback situation is tough.
The future of it, the current landscape, the AFC, we played the AFC North. And this year, and we didn't win a game. They're just, there's a lot of future talent in that division. There's a lot of teams trending upward in that division. What are your thoughts on the Ravens now and moving forward?
All right. So Ravens right now, we can clinch playoffs with a lot of different scenarios. But that's not really like the issue for me. It's more like when Lamar does come back, which I feel like is looming. They're not going to say this early in the week, obviously for competitive reasons, but like we need him back. We're talking about teams that are going to make a playoff run. I can weirdly see us doing that, but only if Lamar is healthy. And I just feel like I am not down in the dumps about us yet because I have some like good feeling, but I'm like, I don't know if there's any truth to that feeling. I'll be honest. I don't know. The wide receiver, the whole offense. Roman, I've been saying this since day one on our podcast. He's got to go. And John Harbaugh is now in the fucking hot seat because he didn't get rid of this guy a year ago. And he should have gotten rid of them. So now I not only am coming for Greg Roman, I'm coming for Harbaugh's job now too.
And again, I'll make it clear.
And I never thought I'd say this. I dug deeper into this last week on our podcast. So check it out, especially if you want to hear what I think about Lamar's contract next year and where I stand with that. But I don't know. Whoever watched Saturday, there's no offense. It's horrible. He's got to go. We got to get rid of Roman, and there needs to be some sort of accountability. And that's one of my biggest things that pisses me off is I feel like John Harbaugh never takes accountability in these press conferences, and it just everything's always good and we're a team and it's fine, which I get. That's how you have to act, but there needs to be a sense of accountability this year because this is not good enough.
Alex, we'll transition over to your Giants. Thoughts on the Giants' current and future situation?
I don't know. I mean, it's the fucking Giants. I'm happy they got that victory
last night.
Well, yes, but my biggest issue with the Giants, it's realistically, say we make playoffs, are they really going to win in the playoff game? I don't really believe it. I don't know. I hate to say that. I just don't think we're there yet. And I get that. I think it's going to take a few years to rebuild, but I don't know when we pull the plug on Daniel Jones, if we keep letting him go, if we try to build around it, or we try to find someone new. I'm not sure. I'm shaky with it. The beginning of the year, we look great, but it's the fucking Giants. It's always 50-50. It's flip the coin. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, but if this was last year, aren't you last year you're wishing that this was your team?
A lot happier, but I still don't think I don't think we'll be able to compete with a good team still.
I just think, okay, as fans, at what point do you just accept where you are? Because it's we all can't fucking win the Super Bowl, and we're all not going to win the Super Bowl every year. At some point, you just have to be happy with it, right?
No, I get that. I don't expect to win the Super Bowl, but I just feel like these close games, it's we are not consistent, and I think that's my biggest fear with us. We are it truly is so 50-50. We'll have a great game, or we'll have a great set, a good drive, and then come second half or something, we look completely brand new and not in a good way. I just worry about the consistency. I like the new changes, love that new head coach, everything like that. I think we are going in the right direction, but I still have that fear that we're going to just slip and fall back. So I don't know. It is what it is. Hopefully we make the playoffs. We can get a win under our belt, but I don't know.
You want Daniel Jones back here next year?
I don't know. That's a hard decision. I like him. I do. He has great moments, and then he has moments where you're like, what the hell's going on? But I'm happy I don't have to make that decision because that's hard. I don't know if they pull it or they keep trying to build offensive line around him. I'm not sure.
Paige, do you want Lamar back next year?
Yes, I want Lamar back.
For max money?
No. I don't think that he's in a place to negotiate that right now, and I don't think anybody's going to negotiate anything off this past year. I think that he's going to get tagged, and I think he'll get that exclusive tag. But yeah, I feel like if you're Lamar, you have to everybody thinks that's the kiss of death. But if you're him, how can you think unless you go on some crazy playoff run or whatever when you get back? I mean, how can you negotiate anything off this season?
Yeah. It's so funny. The league is so week to week. It really is a week to week league. You can win a Super Bowl one week and lose it the next for fans and media, and it's crazy. And honestly, even in the locker room, take you into it, confidence wise, you have to really keep that up no matter what happens or what unfolds. We had a tough loss this week to Pittsburgh. We lost, one score game, and they're an AFC North team built. They're just you could just tell that division's just built differently. Everyone's bigger. They've had coaches there, especially Coach Talman and Coach Harbaugh, that have been there for a long time. They have players that have been a part of those teams for decades at this point, right? So it's just their Calais Campbell and Hayward for the Steelers. They're just the teams are just built differently. There's a lot, to talk about from our game too. As I transitioned to the Panthers, but a tough loss, but big win the week before in Seattle, and here we are in the driver's seat. You went out and you're in the playoffs, which is awesome. It's just been a crazy season, and Coach Rule being let go, Christian McCaffrey being traded, Baker Mayfield being cut, just so much to digest as a player. you know, like I was like telling someone the other day, like after the season, no matter what happens, like there's going to be like a period of time where you're just going to sit down and like decompress, which happens every year, and it kind of hits you, and you just get really tired. But like this one is like, it's just like sometimes I needed a mental shower some days because, like literally, there goes like Coach Rule, there goes Christian, there goes Baker, there goes the
Panthers have been a revolving door this year.
Yeah, and we have a really good team, and your record is who you are. But we have a really good team. You see it. You can see flashes of it for sure. So we're definitely trending in the right direction. I'm excited to see what we can do. I guess my question for you guys, because I think we're a team that can get in the playoffs and like do some damage. We're built for that. We need to get there first, right? That's I'm not saying we're there, but we need to get there first. We need to, you know, take care of some business here in the next couple of games. But for you guys, and I'll start with Paige. Who are the teams that scare you out of the AFC? I mean, that the AFC is absolutely loaded. I had the link pulled up earlier, but you're talking Bills, you're talking Kansas City, you're talking just some absolute just juggernauts of teams. So who are the teams that kind of scare you the most?
Out of the AFC? I would say I think it's the standard teams that you see. I don't see like a lot of wild cards in there. Well, actually, right now, I think Jax probably would scare people. So if I'm Ravens and I make playoffs and I got to go play at Jacksonville, I'm fucking scared.
Duval?
Yeah. Ravens, it really depends. I feel like people are scared of them, but it just depends on what you have. Like they are very much they put the wild card right now.
Okay.
Because you've seen, they can hang with the Bills. We can hang with you've seen these games early in the year where we only lost those games we were only trailed by 8 seconds or something crazy. Like when we're good, we're good. And when it's bad, it's bad. Like
it will be interesting to see how it pans out. Now you have Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati, Tennessee.
Tennessee I don't even know why that doesn't scare me. I mean, and that says a lot coming from somebody who has lost to them in playoffs a lot because they normally are a scary playoff team. They're hard to play at, but I would say out of all of those wild card ones, Jax right now.
So Jax it goes New England, Jets, and then Jax, the order to get into the wild card spot.
Yeah, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, and Miami. I mean, it's even I don't know if Cleveland's eliminated, but they're 6-8 too. They're right in it, and it's gonna be interesting to see how it all shakes out. I think that they added the extra playoff teams is freaking absolutely brilliant by the NFL. I'll go to Alex here in the NFC. You got Philly, Minnesota, San Fran, Tampa. Our division's not sealed up yet. Obviously, the other divisions are sealed up.
Yeah.
So that's the one that you need to see how that shakes out. And then the wild card, you have Dallas, Giants, Washington. So the whole NFC East is in at the moment. And then Seattle, Detroit, Green Bay, Carolina, New Orleans. So of those teams, it looks like the Giants should be in. Who are some teams that scare you in the NFC?
I mean, the top 4 scare me, obviously. Philly, Vikings, San Fran, Tampa. But I think Detroit Lions, I like them. They've been making a run.
They've been making a run.
I've been saying it since the beginning of the year on our podcast. I've loved them ever since Hard Knocks came out, and just watching Dan Campbell and just the culture around it and what he's trying to rebuild. Absolutely love it. So I think it's amazing that they have. What did they start? 1-6.
They're one team that when I see them on my DraftKings app, I refuse to touch because I'm I won't not bet against them.
Yeah. They're hot. They're on a run, and I absolutely love it. I think they're a sleeper. But yeah, I get nervous about them. Green Bay, not as much. I know you're going to be upset with Carolina. Sorry, Colin.
Okay.
Sometimes a little bit. I mean, I think you guys have great moments, but I'm not too worried. If it's me being worried who the Giants are going to beat, I think that's every team there. But personally, as a fan, I'm not too stressed. I mean, the NFC is just strong. We're strong as hell right this season somehow.
The AFC, to start the year, first off, the AFC, they're both really strong, right? They both have great teams. It's been interesting, especially with Jimmy G going down in San Francisco, how that looks. obviously they're doing a great job and things are moving in a great direction for them. They're just loaded with blue chip players, and they have a great coaching staff. They've been together for a while. It should be interesting when it goes. I've said it to us. I think if we get in the dance, we can do anything. And that's the whole thing. Like I grew up watching the Giants and following the Giants. I remember when they were 7-9 and got into the playoffs and won a Super Bowl, I believe it was. So, you just have to have the right pieces, the right players. Like you have to have a quarterback that gets hot. You have to have a defense that can sack the quarterback in big moments and stop the run in big moments. Like it doesn't have to always be perfect, really, even going into the playoffs. Like you just have to get in, and then like if your pieces match
win.
Yeah, you have to just match up well, really, against who you're going to play against. So it should be interesting to see how it pans out. The Minnesota game, Paige, did you watch any of that?
Dude, I started watching it, and then I went to the bar because it's for a Raven, so I headed downtown, and I got there, and I look up at the screen, and it's freaking tied, and they were about to kick the field goal. I was like, what the F just happened? That was crazy.
Yeah, wild. I was watching the game here. Andrew and George were in town, and I was watching the game. I'm like, I think the Colts are. I was for the Jeff Saturday hire. I think I've said it before. Give somebody their shot. He's close to the franchise.
I know. I really don't understand all the hate. I mean, I get it, but it's like,
listen, I understand it too. Like, I'm not saying that Frank Reich should have been fired either. Like I try to really, I don't have all opinions about that because I don't want anybody to lose their job. But if somebody's going to come in, again, I don't know their organization, right? Like Coach Wilkes has been awesome for us as someone to come in after Coach Rule, but I don't know the organization. So I'm just kind of speaking freely. I'm going to be pro a lot of things, and I'm pro Jeff. Like it seems like a great guy, great fit, a leader. He's played with great players. He's been a leader of men. So we'll see what comes out of there and see if he gets a job or not moving forward. But my point is, I was like, oh, Colts, man, they're going to, you know what? I don't know if they're going to run away with this. Minnesota's really good. Really good. They're at home. All they need is to get a little twist of something. Like they have the talent and the team to go there. Obviously, their record's really good too. So I think people are ruling Minnesota out too. Like it's teams that like everyone's like, it's Minnesota. Like they've been up and down, but I'm a huge
they're gritty too. They're like kind of like Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I'm a huge Kirk Cousins fan. I've always been. I don't understand the hate for him. I get it. Is he Patrick Mahomes? No, but I think there's a consistency. Jordan Reed was on my show, and his episode will come out here, moving forward in a couple of weeks. Like the consistency of Kirk over the years, and that's what Jordan said. Like he's just consistent. He throws a catchable football. He's tough. He's gritty. He's always available. He's a great leader. He's a great teammate. Like that stuff all matters, and you could see how that team like rallies around him and how he dishes the ball to those guys. So. We're sitting here saying, go ahead.
I think if they don't lose Jonathan Taylor either, Colts, I mean, that could have been a different second half for them.
Yeah, I mean, he's the guy, right? He's one of the best running backs in the league. So
he got hurt in like the opening drive.
Yeah, that's tough stuff. You guys talked about Baker on here. I'm going to kick it over to you guys in a second, but I said it on my show. I was the least surprised surprised person in the entire country when he did what he did. At least I like to say I think I am, because I just remember that guy just grinding in his playbook, that guy having a wealth of knowledge from all the playbooks he's played in. He's played in, multiple in Texas Tech. He played in one in Oklahoma. He played in multiple in Cleveland, and he played in one here. So he has been around. He has really, developed his way in his mind to learning all these different offenses. And it's kind of all the same terminology. So there's some stuff there that carries over. So you can get on a plane, you could study just the game plan itself, like whatever the game plan is, he studies that, and then the rest of it he'll learn later. So I was not surprised that he was able to go out there and just rip it up like that because he cares. But honestly, not shocked either about the fact that he made those throws at the end of the game. First off, they got a lot of help. Yeah. You watch that drive, there was a lot of things that went wrong. But at the end of the day, like, you got to make those throws. He doesn't have a chip on his shoulder. I always say he has a boulder on his shoulder. Like, he is he was arguing the one day with me. He's like, if I was 6'3", I would be what I'm like, dude, you were the first pick overall. You were a Heisman Trophy winner, and you're a starting quarterback in the NFL. What if you were 6'3", you probably wouldn't even be that good. Like, you would have the talent. You had to earn, So I'm all over the place with Baker, but I wasn't shocked. on how it went down. I'll go to Alex first. What say you?
I like Baker. I mean, I like him. I don't have Paige really likes him. She's like Baker.
We should ask.
Yeah, go to Paige. She wants to marry him.
I just always liked it. A lot of people don't like cocky players, but when I think cocky players, like he comes to mind for a lot of people, I think because of his OU days. But like he doesn't remind me of people like Chauncey Gardner cocky. Like his is like kind of different. Like you definitely either like him or you don't, but I've always liked him. I've liked him since his Oklahoma days. So I think that's also why. If you didn't like him then, you're not going to like him now. But I just I didn't like the way the Browns did him like that. I didn't like that at all. So now it made me root even more for him. But I'm excited to see how he does tonight against Green Bay. Do I think he has like a comeback win? Probably not. But it will be good to see if maybe he actually fits in this offense. Maybe that also plays a role. I don't know. I mean, he's got even more time to practice with this team and get the playbook and connections and timing with the receivers. So I'm excited to see, but it's also going to be fucking freezing there tonight. So good luck to everybody.
He is built for this guy. Like, this is him. And his, like, people say he's cocky. He just has this aura of, like, I'm going to do this shit. Really. Like, that's just Baker. Like, I'm going to go do this. We're going to go do this. Like, we're in Cincinnati and like the fans are talking smack to him. And all. He's like, I own this stadium. I own the stadium. Like, like that's what he's saying to the fans in the tunnel before the game. I'm like,
yeah, but that's why people don't like him. So there's a crowd that rubs the wrong way.
I get it. Yeah, but it just but when you're on his team, you're like, oh yeah. Oh
yeah, you want that from your man back there. You want
to play with somebody like that, but I also, in terms of just like talking about his career in general, I think that game and possibly tonight and the rest of the season is going to extend his time in the NFL.
No doubt. I mean, he's extremely valuable. I mean,
I think he's calmed down since college, but I've always liked him since he tried to outrun the cops and got body slammed. So I fuck with that. That's a great video.
Again, these are not my words, folks. These are the words of our wonderful guests.
Don't ask us shit if you don't want to hear the real answer.
That's right. That's why you guys have your own show and you guys are having a good time. And when I'm done playing, I will give the real answers. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Paige, this is a must. You come on my show, you got to tell our fans the football.
Oh, here we go. I knew I wasn't getting off without this.
What the fuck is that about?
You have to ask this. You have to tell the story to our fans because it's tremendous and it shows. This is how it all started. This is how your show started.
Right. This is
how you came up to me and you're like, these are the stories of my childhood with my dad and my sisters watching Ravens football. I'm like, you need a podcast. You need to tell these stories.
This is not only a core memory for me, but has now become a core memory for Colin. So growing up, I am one of 3 sisters and we're all pretty close in age, but my dad's like a big sports junkie. He's had season tickets for the Ravens since they were around. He still remembers when they took the team in the middle of the night and he was like a young boy and he like sobbed, and he's a big Orioles fan, everything. So my mom's in real estate, so she always had to work on the weekends. And Sundays are usually open house days. So we always were with him on the weekends. They're together, but like he just had us at home. So we had this Waterford crystal, and it was like kind of like the top. It was same as like the top of a like Lombardi trophy. And it used to sit above the TV, like and before Ravens games, my dad would kiss, rub, and then he'd pass it to my older sister and she would kiss, rub. And then it would go down the line. And like, there would be times where we would like forget to do it. And like, say Ravens were down at half or they were down, like bad drive, like something bad happened. And he's like, did we fucking kiss the like crystal? And we're like, no. And he's like, get it. And we're like, kiss, rub, passing like as fast as we can. And like, I never really thought anything of this, but like, I think probably the first time I like told this story out loud to Colin, I was like, okay, this is like a little
weird.
This is not everyone's childhood.
It is though. If you're like an Eagles fan growing up, like where I'm from, like everybody has these stories like about different moments. Like I remember people like jumping through like ceiling tiles in the basement, like off an Eagles catch. Like there's all these stories of your childhood. Alex, any good stories from you? Not, again, no, you don't have to be kissing any footballs or anything, but like good core memories watching the Giants when you were younger.
Oh yeah. Back when I was younger, probably middle school or even elementary school, when we lived in Long Island, New York, we would host all the Super Bowl parties. So those times when the Giants were in the Super Bowl, I mean, you're talking about my old house had a full-size bar in it, huge leather couch, fireplace, TV, and it would be like 70, 80 people inside, outside, in the middle of winter in Long Island, New York, jam-packed, drinking, eating, and those are those were my favorite memories. I remember hanging out with all the little kids and winning the Super Bowl. I will never forget when who made the catch on the top of his helmet when that happened. Yeah, I will never forget that night. I remember just seeing my uncle, my dad absolutely losing their shit. But yeah, those are probably my favorite moments, were back then when the Giants were making their Super Bowl runs and we would just have massive parties.
Yeah. There was the heydays, like for me, like through high school and all that, like when everyone's still around. That's the hardest part. You don't really kind of realize it until you're gone. Like college is awesome. And then like when you're done college and people start moving and traveling, it's like, man, those good times where everybody was together watching football. Everyone kind of grows up and moves on, which I understand. But yeah, we would have huge parties. We had this farmhouse, and my dad, we would like go outside and light, like the wind was like brutal through the farmhouse. Like it wasn't that tight. So we'd like light the fire in the farmhouse at like 8 a.m. for a 1 p.m. game, just like heat the room up. But it was so cool, like, and so unique of a setup, like all the food catered. Of course, I had the Sam Boner show, but like I literally grew up like eating Italian hoagies and like rating them with my parents, like just good memories. So
you don't realize how like I didn't realize how special or unique Baltimore was football wise until I got to college, because a lot of our friends are from like Long Island, Connecticut. They don't go to games or whatever because you know it's so split and the stadium's not very close, like it's not easy to get to. Like these were like Thursday night, Sunday night games. Like it didn't matter if you had school the next day, you were at these games. You were tailgating before. I used to roll up to school in high school Monday, like hungover from Ravens games, which like I understand now why my parents used to be like, we're disappointed in you. But like back then I was like, huh, like what? And now I'm like, oh my God, that was so unacceptable.
Your dad was like, yes, great job. Good job, baby.
Like I didn't realize that it wasn't like, I mean, I know Baltimore is like Smalltimore, but like,
yeah, it makes it nice.
Really different than most people have, like their state being in relation to like their stadium and stuff.
Yeah, we never went from Long Island. I mean, to get to MetLife, to get to Jersey, it was like that combination of driving, trains, and it was just a pain in the ass. So every Sunday, it was like my dad would make a shit ton of food. We'd sit down on the couch and watch it. But yeah, my first NFL game ever was Baltimore Ravens. That was my first one. And then when I lived in DC, I was there every weekend.
That's how.
Yeah, that was. Yeah.
So there's so many people that haven't been to games, and I'm like, I barely missed one. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I went to like training camp all the time. Like, my dad had us in there.
That was like everybody's coming.
Like we went to their training camp back when it was like this college. It used to be at this college. I think it was like Stevenson or something, or McDaniel. Like it wasn't even at the castle. Now they do it at the castle, but like they used to be at some like little college back in the day.
That's great. All right, so Christmas is coming up here, guys, as we wrap up, and then you can maybe brainstorm over questions from me here as we finish up. But what are we looking forward to on Christmas with the football games? I mean, that's exciting, honestly, because listen, I respect the guys in the NBA. I have some buddies in the NBA, but I just can't. I hate
that. I know.
I just struggle with it.
That stuff in my feed. I am so over the NBA stuff. Like, let us have our fucking moment with football season, and then you can carry on. That season is like so ridiculously long.
Fucking long.
Like it will have its moment. It will have its time. Let us enjoy right now.
It's so fucking long. I don't know how people actually get pumped up for like game 35. It's like you got 50 more to go.
I'm excited for Christmas this year because we play Saturday, off Sunday. So get to enjoy a little football and be off for once. Because usually I
don't really like any of these games, though. I'll be honest. Like I would.
Green Bay, Miami, Denver, Rams, Tampa, Arizona before the season. all of these games, you would say, hell yeah. Hasn't
now
been.
I'm like, now I'm like, it's a bunch of toilet bowls, but of course, just because it's Christmas, something will happen. Like,
I hope so. Yeah,
I'm sure these will be closer than.
These are all national TV games that every single player, coach, right? 6 teams are playing out of 32, so that people know that. Like Thursday night football, there's extra juice to it because you feel like crap and you got to go perform, and you just played 72 hours ago. So like. Guys know, you know what national TV games are. They don't play different, but just get you going.
I mean, it's the same thing like the Thanksgiving games. It's the same thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. So no, it should be fun. What do we got?
What do we got? Then,
go ahead.
But there's also a lot of good Christmas Eve games.
Yeah, I was looking more of that.
Christmas Eve is going to be chaos, and that's the question for me. Like, that's going to affect. Shopping.
It's almost too much.
It's going to affect shopping a little bit because now people like shop the day before Christmas. The games are on at 1 o'clock.
Who the fuck shops the day before Christmas? That's you, Colin?
My dad.
A lot of people.
You guys save it last minute like that?
No, but I know a lot of people do. As a kid, I remember
you
growing
ever been
up
to the mall on Christmas Eve? That shit's popping.
Pepper's Village. I just remember
I think that this affects a lot of people's Christmas Eves in general. This is a crazy amount.
Yeah, I'm getting anxious. How am I going to plan out what I'm drinking, eating, and watching these games all at the same time? That's a lot.
That's a lot of stress. I mean, I feel horrible for you.
I know. Fuck this. I have a really hard life.
It should be interesting, this Eagles-Cowboys game. I forgot to talk about that earlier.
Yes.
We were going to pass that to Sil. She couldn't make it, and to Rossi. But I think, everybody wants us to be a big deal because it's like the big rivalry game and the Eagles are legit. And Cowboys are having a great year too. I think the Cowboys are the least talked about. Again, I'm not dialed into the mainstream media like I used to be, but usually when the Cowboys have 10, 11 wins, the place is going crazy. They're having I think a pretty quiet, solid year.
They're choking though.
I know, but 10
now they're having a little bit too close to games.
But that's reality.
But like before, when they had the blowouts, I feel like everybody was on them, but
that's just reality late in the year though. Like everybody's going to get better, get tighter as a team. Teams are settling in more, coordinators are settling in. Like the games are always going to be better.
Injuries.
100%. Great point, Paige. So yeah, I think the Eagles think the Hurts thing, right? That's the injury you bring up. Minshew's a great backup. So we'll see how that goes. They have a great team, great coaching staff. People are like freaking out, but typical Philly, they're not freaking out. They're not freaking out because like it matters because they already clinched the number 1 seed, I think. So
yeah,
it doesn't even matter what happens in the game.
Matter.
But they just want to.
I would just rest them.
Yeah,
right.
It's hard
to rest them regardless.
Yeah, they're probably being precaution. There's precaution there. I think the one thing about the NFL too, just to bring up a side note, you can't really rest players because there's no room to rest guys on the roster. It's not like you can't put a guy on the bench. There's only 7 inactive players on game day, 46 dressed. And was it 53? Yeah, 53 on the active roster. So there's 7 guys that are in street clothes that are getting paid like to be on the active roster. So like those 7 guys, maybe 2 of them are hurt because they don't want to put them on IR. Like Lamar's not on IR, right?
No.
So he's just on inactive. He's in the inactive list. So
yeah, he's just inactive.
There's 6 guys they can use. Well, if there's another guy hurt, there's only 5 guys. So the guys you have to play in the league, the rosters aren't big. I will always say the rosters need to be bigger. The practice squad needs to be bigger. They did expand the practice squad. The practice squad should be 20. There's times in practice. Yeah, like in times in practice, I'm playing offensive line. I'm playing outside linebacker. I'm playing all these positions, like legit reps to help save legs of another starter who's got to give the look because they played 50 reps a day ago. So I think that's the one thing.
There's enough money, and for the wear and tear of this game, you can expand that.
No doubt.
But don't clip that because we'll get eaten alive for that one.
Yeah, dumb bitches.
It's good. It's good to be eaten alive.
They're gonna like that one.
Stay in the kitchen.
The show. Oh, that's tough. Have you guys got that one yet?
Probably.
No, but I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't gotten like one of that. Like, go make a sandwich.
You guys know more about football than 99% of fans out there.
We've also played in the same amount of games as them.
Correct.
We also were D1 athletes, so we kind of get the sports thing and the mindset. But we'll let it slide. It's all right.
Talk that talk. All right. Any questions for me as we wrap up? I want to leave it up to you guys.
What are your thoughts on Carolina right now? So how I feel about Carolina is that I really like you guys at home, I guess not this past weekend, but you guys really like you kind of catch lightning in a bottle, it seems like. Like you have the pieces there, but it just doesn't seem like every week it meshes. Like, what do you think your actual like weaknesses are?
That's a great question. I'll say this. I think our strengths are
No,
really,
I didn't
really,
ask that.
I know that, but I'm going to bring it back to what I think the weaknesses are. If you talk about like, if you look at the different positions and in our team, like there's really not a bad position group, which is really rare in the NFL because you're going to usually go through a group and be like, okay, there's the corners or there's the backers or the tight ends or whatever. It's like, well, not really. Like last year, our offensive line was probably the weakness of the team. This year, it's the strength of the team and could be one of the best units in the team. But we had a tough time running the football this week. We had to drop back to pass more, and then we let up some more sacks, which is really on everybody, right? Like that's on just the whole thing. So, it's hard for me to sit here and honestly say like, what's the weakness? Because I really don't like quarterbacks. We had 3 of them. They all have won games. Like Sam is good and legit. Like Sam's probably the most gifted out of all of them. Biggest, strongest, fastest, throws it the farthest. PJ's won games and was the MVP of the XFL. PJ's going to get it paid. And Baker goes to freaking Rams and wins a game 2 days later. So you can't say the quarterback room, which I think a lot of people would say that's a weakness. I don't. So there's a lot there. I think we had to find ourselves a little bit. We're a physical running football team that, plays good defense. But I think the emergence of Terrence Marshall, DJ Moore is just absolutely nasty. He's just on a different planet than everybody else. Like the guy's a freak receiver. So we have the pieces. I think we just got to put it together. Should be a great test at home against Detroit. I mean, Christmas Eve. It should be cool. It should be cool. There were so many Steelers fans last week. So many. We had to go silent count at home.
Oh, so, really? That is crazy.
I would say about 70% of the fans were Steelers fans, maybe 80%. So nice. Yeah, it's a tough, Carolina we have great fans, like super loyal, like Jacks, like we came in the league at the same time as like Duval, like we have very loyal fan bases, but they're both places where a lot of people vacation or they move to from New York or from Pittsburgh or from Green Bay. So you have transit. So
true. That's very true.
All right. One more question for me was, what did you think about it's not bad. The Terry, when he looks at the ref asking if he's good and the ref points back is like, you're good, and then gives him the penalty.
Wow. Great question, Paige. I feel horrible for Terry and, that whole situation. Like that's just normal procedure. Like, yeah, we're trying to help each other out there. Like Terry lines up, make sure he's good. Oh, I'm not. Okay. I'll move up. Well, they had a guy coming in motion. They had a guy coming in motion. You let that go. That's what my take is. It like if Terry was like, now again, I'll say this. What happened the entire game? I didn't see the whole game. I didn't see, and how many people were really watching Terry McLaurin and how he was interacting with the ref. Now I'm not saying he was like talking to him, but I'm saying like, was he off the ball a lot? Has he been warned 3, 4, 5 times?
Sure.
Right.
That's what I always encourage fans to like before you freak out on Twitter is like, go back and
that'll never happen, but
which is great. It makes Twitter great. It makes people listen to our podcast. It pays my bills in the NFL, the reactionary stuff, right? Like it's great. So yeah, that's a great question. I would say that we don't know what happened. Like there could have been a conversation. There could have not been. The guy could have just been like, you know what? I'm calling this. This is what I'm going to call. It could have been someone on the other team who was ineligible a bunch, and they were complaining that they should have been eligible or whatever. But in college, to paint a picture, the 2 different games, college and pros, the hashes are different. But one of the main differences too is like being on the ball and off the ball as an eligible receiver. In college, they were crazy strict about it. Crazy. And you do it. And then when you get to the NFL, the coaches are like, no, scoot up a little bit more, even though you're off the ball, gaining an advantage. So there's a game inside the game there. And I'll be honest with you, to answer your question, I don't know what happened.
So. Yeah. That's weird.
Like a lot of people are like taking this to like, well, this is like the conspiracy side of it, which like I can like kind of fall into sometimes on Twitter is like, they're like, there's a reason why they're like keeping these games so close. Like ever since FanDuel and DraftKings have now become these like big ass sponsors. Like, and this is what I was just saying in our group chat the other day, our 2 girls, 1 league thing. When I went to go bet on a bunch of games, I was like, these are also fucking close. Every single one, the line was like 2, on like every single one of them, 2 or 3. And I was like, why are every single one of these lines like 2 or 3? And everyone's like, they're doing everything they can to like keep these games like really close. Like this is conspiracy.
I don't know about all that. I think at the end of the day,
I don't know. But anyway, he asked him, he said, so the clip that they're only showing on Twitter, the one that's going viral, is just the thumbs up part of it. But right before that, the ref had told him to move up, and he moved up, and then he said, "Am I good?" So there was movement before the thumbs up stuff, but I wasn't paying attention to all that stuff in other parts of the game. But
it's a big moment in the game, right? And it's devastating, and it has playoff implications, right? Like that has seeding. Like even if they both make the playoffs, like that affects your seed.
Right. Yeah. I think that there's been way too many games this year that have come down to like random calls, bad calls like that.
The refs, I'll always say this, the refs need to be full-time.
Yeah.
I don't blame them. I think they're trying their best. I hate to say that. I think that's like get
right. I mean, it's like any league, whatever, even from freaking middle school, whatever, all refs, like you're not going to blame the refs. Like it's all relative, but
they need to be full-time. They need to be like those guys are accountants. They're lawyers.
They're like doctors, lawyers. They have
other.
They don't hire just anybody.
Yeah, but they are principals at schools. Like I've met a handful of them. All of them are awesome because they come with us in Carolina. They're really nice guys. They're all former players, like football lifers. They love the game and want to do everything to preserve the game and want to do everything to stay off TV. Like they want to. But I just think they need to be full-time. They need to be on salary. They need to be full-time. In my opinion, there should be like a rule, like they can't work in season. Like,
right.
I know that maybe.
Do they work in season? I thought that most of them were like almost retired in their.
No, they work. Position. They work. I mean, the game's over Sunday. They fly out right after the game. They have a police escort out of the building. Always.
Well, yeah, they should.
They should, yeah. But it's the first time you see it.
Have you met this league? Shit.
Yeah.
They get escorted right out, and then they go and they fly out, and then they're back home by Sunday night. If they ref a game at 1:00, they could work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, fly out Saturday for the game.
I want to do this job.
Yeah, it's a good gig.
I want to do it.
Yeah.
I have a few questions.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So who would you rather kiss? No, I'm joking. We're going to go with
we did. If you want to hear a funny segment, you can go to our Fuck, Marry, Kill segment.
Yeah, you can go listen to us
the end of our show last week.
End of the show last week, 2 Girls, 1 League. Check it out. What do we got?
Yeah. No, who is? Well, what are your thoughts with that Patriots game with that lateral pass?
Oh God!
Get into that. What was that? I feel bad for him. He was trying to interview.
I respect him for standing in there and saying, "I messed up." You know, I think that's really hard. What are my thoughts on it? Man, I mean,
why did they do that? Why did they just go down? Even the running back.
Here's the thing. Situational football is everything in this league, from taking like good teams to great. And we did a ton of it. We do a ton of it with Coach Wilkes. We do a ton of it with Coach Rule. I know the Patriots do a ton of it. They're like the beginning of it, of like really going over like, okay, end of the game, no time left. What are we doing here? So with respect to them, I don't know what happened, but from our perspective, it comes down from the offensive coordinator, the quarterback's in the huddle. Hey, listen, guys, get the ball, go down here, get the ball, go out of bounds here, get the ball and get down right away. We have different code terms for that. We have different plays for that. So it all starts with, up top, right? Head coach, coordinator, quarterback. That's that's my answer to that question, but that's tough. Oh, brutal loss.
That was a brutal one.
Raiders have been hot. Raiders have been hot and catching fire.
Yeah. Well, the stiff arm to Mac Jones was pretty fucking brutal to watch.
That's a big boy. Chandler Jones. I've had to block him before. That is a mountain. That's one of the biggest. He's one of the biggest people in the NFL.
Yeah, big boy. I got 2 more. Who's your what, Paige? I can't ask my questions.
No, I'm just curious.
No, they're not inappropriate, guys. We're not on 2 girls. It's not 2 Girls, 1 League, okay? If you want to get raunchy, come on over to us. We'll get a little raunchy, but not here. Colin's a married man, for God's sakes, guys. Who's your biggest sleeper team? Who do you think?
Carolina Panthers. And I know that sounds cliche, but if you
fucking A, Colin,
it's true. Else. Why wouldn't it be?
Why wouldn't it be? If it's not your own
somebody
team.
other than your own team.
Okay.
God damn. This is the last time I'm coming on your show.
He didn't even give me an answer to my question. He only gave us strengths.
I don't think there's a weakness.
I need like the nitty gritty. Be critical. What fucking sucks? He said, "I'll start with the strengths."
I'll start with the strengths. Okay, let me go to my our text from earlier. Sleeper team, of course. My
sleeper team.
It's a great question. Let's see here. Boom. Okay. I think Jacksonville, what Paige brought up earlier, is a really cool one. I've always been a Doug Peterson fan from his time in Philly.
He's transformed that place.
Well, they have their rosters. I mean, they spent a lot of money. They went out and spent money and hired Doug. Their quarterback is, one of the highest recruits and one of the best college and high school quarterbacks ever. He's a great quarterback on the NFL. I'll say this too: sleeper team, your Baltimore Ravens. I know people are going to be like, well,
I said,
but I think that team is built, and anybody coming out of that division is built to handle it and play.
This defense is incredible.
Very good. Cincinnati can do it too. Like the teams in the AFC North, I have respect for every team in the league, and I know it's another cliche, but it's true. Like every team can do it on any Sunday. But now more than ever in the league, the parity in the league is way better, way better.
Yeah.
So I'll go Baltimore. I like their team. I like their defense. I like the way they run the football. I love their tight ends. They have like 6 of them. I like Lamar when he comes back, and he's going to have to prove it, right? He can play 2 games really well in the playoffs, and they could be like, here you go. Here's every dime on the planet, because that's what matters most, December and January football. And then over to the NFC, I think there's a lot to talk about here. I mentioned us in the wild card spot. You mentioned a team like Detroit, who's caught absolute fire. And it's a really good team, a well-balanced team. Watch film on them today. Love the way they play. Sleeper. Yeah, I'll go with those teams. I mean, Philly's just so loaded top to bottom. Love the way they're built. I love the Minnesota team. I love the Niners team. I mean, the amount of players they have at a high level there.
Yeah, they're good. They are deep playoff team to me.
They just have the people. Again, matchups. Can you run the ball? Can you make the big plays? Do you have the players to do it? Yes. Do you have players to sack the quarterback in big moments? Yes. Bosa, etc. So
yeah, exactly.
All right, last one. Who's overrated? And give us a real answer. Don't try to be like Mr. Nice Guy or
it doesn't matter. That's irrelevant.
Yeah, stop. It's so annoying. Who's overrated? Who is not? Who's getting all this hype that you just think is not backing it up fully or will fall apart?
Let me look here. Who's overrated?
Yeah. And don't be so nice with it, Colin. God.
I'm probably going to be, because I don't think
we need to get him raunchy. Maybe we need to get you.
I have to retire first. I have to retire.
He just has to get cut. Yeah.
Yeah. How fast can we make that happen? Hopefully not fast at all.
I can help you out with that.
Who's overrated? Yeah, right.
Starting here.
I like
Dallas. Dallas is easy, but I feel like everybody's caught on to that, and everybody kind of knows that.
Though. Here's why. I like Dak Prescott from people I've talked to.
See, this is
shut
right.
Up, Colin.
No, I will have. I'm going to have an answer for everybody. I've heard from multiple people that have coached him before, that are with our organization, have left the organization.
But it's not just him.
But hear me out. He is literally one of the best single leaders they've ever been around, if not the greatest leader. And these guys, like 30, 40 years coaching, both of them, both said that. So I have a ton of respect for them. I think they both, Pollard and Zeke, are nasty. Like Pollard is going to get the bag this offseason. We were talking about it with a couple guys. He is going to get paid tons of money. So I don't know, overhyped. I hate to say anybody, because any one of these teams in the NFC that I'm looking at right now could make a run. Yeah. We played Seattle. I respect them. It's tough to play there. Gino's
shut up.
What do you mean?
And hit the end record.
Hey, what do you think Seattle's record was going to be?
If you want to feel good about yourself, just come on this podcast, because Colin will say something really nice about you.
What did you think Seattle's record was going to be to start the year? What do you think it was going to be, Paige, without Russ?
Okay. I don't know. Probably not what it is, but they're not like a playoff people to me. I think what you see right this year is what you're going to get in playoffs. I really do think that this year is that. And like maybe that's not always the case, but I mean, we've seen a lot of really bad football this year. A lot of really bad football.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see.
Wait, last one, Colin. And you have to be honest. Who is prettier, me or Paige? No.
Holy cow.
Let's leave it up to the comments. No.
This
is what happens on
Fuck, Marry, Kill. Fuck, Marry, Kill. Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Who do we say? Andy Reid.
Bill Belichick.
And then Matt LaFleur. We'll give a good one.
2 Girls, 1 League. Everybody, check out their podcast.
No, Colin.
Follow us on the gram.
2
Girls, 1 League, all letters.
I am a married man to Sydney Dupree, who is good friends with these 2 ladies on the screen right here. So, again, this is Paige. That's Alex. I'm Colin. Guys, enjoy your holiday season. I hope everyone has an awesome day.
Have a safe holiday.
Yeah, an absolute safe holiday. Enjoy each other. Check out the pod, 2 Girls, 1 League. Appreciate everybody watching our podcast. And again,
drop some hate in our comments. If you're feeling nasty that day, you know where to go.
Yell at me.
Shout out to Santa. See you guys.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Hey guys, appreciate you listening to our podcast with the girls, 2 Girls, 1 League, an awesome podcast that we are just jacked to have here, a part of our team at Not For Long Media with Paige, Alix, Sil, and Rossi, and the team of us, Not For Long Media, supporting them and making the show go. I hope you enjoyed the banner and the funny talk. Really good stuff out of them as always. Different show for me this week. Want to make it fun, loose for the holidays. Appreciate all our sponsors here at Not For Long Media. Without you guys, we would not be able to do this thing. The original Fudge Kitchen, fudgekitchens.com, shipping fudge and sweet treats across the country. Wealth Advisory Services. If you don't know them, you should. Unbelievable professional way to manage your wealth, all levels of it. Check them out, wealthadvisoryservices.com. Guys, you're going to a game, SeatGeek, promo code Colin Thompson. Check them out. Again, getting $20 off any ticket price over $50. Som Sleep, get some sleep in the holiday seasons. Craziness in the family. Get somebody some sleep. Promo code Colin, Colin. And then finally, our friends over at Amiche, the best Italian food in Charlotte. We love you guys. Shout out to Actions Over Words. Guys, I mentioned this in the beginning of the show. I lost really, truly one of my best friends in the world this past week. His name is Chris Boyle. I grew up with his son, Brian, who's another close friend of mine. And we moved next to Chris and his family, the Boyles, when I was in high school. And Chris was a youth basketball coach of mine. He was, just a coach at the time. I really didn't know much about Chris. And then over the last couple of years, we moved together. We started to travel together, spend time on the shore together, spend time down the Florida Keys together. Just absolutely devastated with his loss. A great man that has touched absolutely everybody he's been around. A great dad, a great person to sit next to at a couple watering holes like we have in the past and laugh and have a great time. Was a huge supporter of myself as a player and a person, and always has been when I coach him and when he coached me in youth basketball. He just is going to be deeply missed. He's going to be deeply missed. He was born August 20th, 1961, passed away Saturday, December 17th, 2022. I'll miss you, Chris. I love you, man. And, there's very few people in this world that have meant so much to me. And, he was huge to the community. He was huge personality, and just an absolute joy to be around. He made everything better. He made everything more fun. He just was the man. So I'll miss you, Chris, every day. I love you, buddy. And the Keys won't ever feel the same. The Plumsteadville Pub will never feel the same. The Jersey Shore will never feel the same without you. So rest easy, my friend. You'll be missed.